Turn it up.
Special guest, John Strange, coach of the Women's New South Wales Blues. First series win. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks
Quick
for having
background, playing career.
Yeah, I grew up in Sydney, played lower grades for Canterbury Dragons, and then when I was 21, decided to make a move over to north of England. Went up there and played for Sheffield, York and Featherstone Rovers.
And what about your coaching career? Where did it all start?
Probably Ethan at under sixes at the Entrance Tigers. Just put my hand up as a dad and coached him all the way through to he was a teenager. And then, got involved with the Roosters on the Central Coast, running the pathways up there, so it sort of led from there.
Speaking of Ethan, he's obviously playing in the 6 jersey down in Canberra. How have you seen his progression as a young NRL player? Yeah,
really good, really good. He went down there coming off contract with us when he was 17 and spoke to a few clubs, and when he came back from meeting with Ricky, I wasn't there, but he came back and there was a real connection that he had with Stick, and I thought he might be. They're very similar in their passion for the game, and so I think it's a good fit.
Yeah. You spoke about how you coached Ethan all through his junior footy. Did you always think that NRL was going to be his end point? I
think there's definitely the potential and the mindset. He was always aggressive and committed in everything he did. It was probably just going to be how big he got, and he was very small, sort of 15-year-old kid. He went through puberty late, and then when he grew, he sort of went to the size he is now. So it was probably always going to be a little bit about the size, but skill set and the way he wants to attack everything with and without the ball, I thought he'd be a good chance.
I thought we all remember that game where he scored 3 tries in the under-19s game. He played right centre.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But how hard was it taking him away from the Roosters? Mate, you're coach of the Roosters.
I didn't take him away. Let's just make that clear. Let's just make that clear.
Well, how hard's that part of your life?
Mate, it was hard, but it was also important, for me and my wife Adele to bring both our kids up to be independent thinkers and make their own decisions. And those decisions, if they're right, great. If they're wrong, they're their decisions to learn from. And he probably wanted to step away a little bit from me, as Jazz did when she sort of left and went to Newcastle. So there's a little bit of that, but I didn't take him away. That we're trying to get
Uncle Nick.
He's got a text from Nick. I know.
John, you've obviously been involved in the game your whole life, played, coached, and then you transferred in coaching the women. You coached the women's NRLW team at the Roosters and obviously the New South Wales Blues. Why did you go into that space?
Well, running the program up on the Central Coast, we put a Harvey Norman women's team in 2020. And I had all the good coaches already in place in all the juniorettes with the boys. So, we didn't actually have a coach. So I'd sort of put my hand up to help out for that year and just loved it. Like the reason I love coaching the girls is they want to know the reason why. As a coach, I go into a lot of detail and they actually take it in and want to know the reasons why and the outcomes. So, I've just loved it since then and coached them for a couple of years. And the Roosters asked me to do the NRLW side and it's led to the New South Wales. But I just love coaching and I love just explaining things to the players and then they go out and execute it on the field.
So you say they're smarter?
Definitely smarter.
What about the other
100%.
side? The other side of things coaching is managing boys and girls, or men and women. What's the difference in men managing? Oh, I didn't say that right. Men and women, or boys and girls. What's the difference?
I don't really know. Like I've coached like the boys, and I've coached senior level on the coast as well. And I'm just a very honest person in everything. So if a player's not playing, I'll tell them why and why they need to work on it. And so I don't have any issues with. Some coaches with the women have had issues about probably not being upfront. And then that sort of creates a bit of unrest. But I'm very open and honest, and I feel like we've got a mutual respect, me and the girls. So it's I think it's great.
What about watching your kids play? Obviously, you're watching your son, which seems to make more sense as a parent. If he's getting hit hard, you can nearly accept that. What about watching your daughter? Be hit hard as well.
Oh, she's I got no worries with her. She brings it on herself, and she's got a real aggressive mindset as well. Right. I was coaching her when she was 15 for the first time in a nines comp up at Newcastle, and she's pretty quick, athletic background, and she could run around people quite easily, but she kept running at them. So I pulled her aside and said, "Look, why don't you use your footwork? You'll score more tries." And she just looked at me and said, "Look, I actually just love the contact. I want to run into him." So her getting whacked, it's no problem.
Now, you've just been successful with the Origin series with the New South Wales Women's Sky Blues. Can you tell us about the NRLW competition coming up? Obviously defending premiers, Roosters.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we've they've been in pre-season for 3 weeks now, so I've been in and out of sessions based on the women's Origin commitments. But that's looking good. We've got a similar squad with the Roosters. Went back to training on Saturday. It was just awesome to be back there with all the girls. Great group they are, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And I think we'll be, in the mix hopefully by the end of the season again.
Mate, the first two performances, particularly the second one in those conditions, I thought was one of the best team performances I've seen. Why not the third game? Like, it's hard. Like, when they talk about winning 3-0, it's for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, you guys will know this. So to get them up to winning the series and obviously getting it done in the first two games was brilliant, and they had to get themselves mentally up to a level to do that. So when we came into camp for Origin 3, they were really confident and happy, as they should be. There was a couple of times during the week we had sessions. I sort of pulled them in and just sort of spoke about the mindset of making sure it was probably more intense in a way and more detailed than Origin 2 because of the way Queensland were going to come out. So it was a balancing act for me, understanding that they'd sort of relaxed a little bit, probably 5% overall. And knowing that the Queenslanders, they didn't want to get beaten 3-0, the desperation and desire they would have had. But it was a challenge because they didn't want to pull the confidence away from the girls as well. But the good thing about that, we sat in the sheds after the game and I just explained that. It's human nature for them to sort of drop off a little bit because, they want to win the series and they'd already done it. But I just said, look, hold on to this feeling now because if you're in this situation again, draw back to how you feel right now, and then that'll hopefully drive them to, want to get the third game done.
John, that's great insight to listen to how a coach thinks about, the performance of a player and a team. You obviously coach at NRL level, but you also coach at State of Origin level. I only ever coached at State of Origin level. Is it different? Do you approach it differently?
Look, in a way, yeah, definitely. But the 6-week block was really good. It was like a mini pre-season that we get for NRLW. So we got to know all the players, and the fact that we debuted in game one was a shock to a lot of people. But I got to know, and the coaching staff got to know them all. So then they picked themselves. I just read the names out. They earned their spots. So that was similar to NRLW. But then the fact that you go into a 3-game series, it was definitely a little bit talking about the players' mindset in game 3. It's almost like NRLW, right? You build up to get a side mentally up and physically up to win a comp, and then you go, right, next week, by the way, we're going to play them again. It's, So that was a little bit different for me. But like I said, that's Origin, and, all those girls really did want to win 3-0, but I think they'll feel that sting and that pain from what happened last week to hopefully drive them.
Any ambitions to coach in the NRL, the men's?
But I'm just happy coaching. I love coaching, yeah.
What do you love about coaching?
I love breaking the game down. For me, it's a physical game of chess. It always has been. So, and I think that's why I'm really suited, or it seems to be working for me, working with the women, because they, like I said, they want to know the breakdown. They want to know the reasons why. Whereas coaching the boys, you'll explain it, they'll get it, then they'll just turn away. But I feel like the fact that the girls really want to know that in pressure situations at certain times, I think they'll.
Why do you reckon it is?
Oh, they're probably a bit more detailed than I don't know. I just say they're smarter than us. So
in general, mate.
Yeah,
in general,
yeah. But yeah, like I said, I just love coaching, and to me, they're not women that I'm coaching; they're rugby league players. So I'm just really happy.
The women's game has come along in leaps and bounds over the last couple of seasons, John. There's 2 new teams in the competition this year. Warriors are back in.
Yep.
Plus the Bulldogs.
Yep.
Do you see room for more expansion in the years to come?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the game's definitely ready for those 2 new teams this year. Whether the next couple of years they bring more in, I think the time the next CBA is done in 2028, I think the women's game will be full-time. Whether there's 17 teams or not, I don't know. That'll be up to the NRL and the clubs to work that out. But I think it'll be full-time because the pathways that both states are doing, New South Wales and Queensland with the junior girls. There's so many talented players coming through, and they'll just filter up. So I think another 3 years it'll be at the level, in my opinion, of going full time. I probably wouldn't go before then. Like the AFL sort of just went all in, and the bottom fell out of AFLW. So the NRL's doing a really good job, and I think 2028 will be the time to pull the trigger.
What about Jess Southwell? find coaching Jess? Her kicking game in game 1 and 2 was outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, she's so skillful. You know, she was known to a lot of people, including myself, before she played NRLW. Played in the sevens, but obviously a local junior up at Newcastle, tearing the boys apart. Everyone was talking about her with all the skills that she's got. So, yeah, great, really, really good working with her. She's only 20, so still a lot to sort of, you know, still a lot to learn, you know, in sort of life and managing her team. But I was really impressed with a 20-year-old to get the keys of the bus, so to speak, in Origin 1 and really guide those players around. And they all had a healthy respect for her as well. So, yeah, really impressed with her.
What about the Gillaroos? Any ambitions there to coach the national team?
Look, I'm open to coaching any team, definitely, and that's, obviously I'm proud Australian, and I don't think I'd say no, but it's not really sort of on my radar, to be honest. It's now I really just want to focus on getting back to clubland at the Roosters.
What about those dance moves you got there?
Yeah, Sarah Togatuki, no, she's on her own in those on those moves.
Ray Gun. Didn't know Ray Gun was
She would take Ray Gun down, I think.
What about Isabel Kelly? So she's gone over the line, the ball hasn't hit the ground. And then what about afterwards? I watched her in the press conference. She was very emotional. How different are females to males after a game? Yeah,
I don't know if it's a male-female. Like, a lot of males are really sensitive and care about their game, and Izzy certainly is that person, really cares about a game. I did say to her, like, I didn't have an impact on that game because we scored 2 plays later on the other side. So that was 2 minutes to go and we don't cross over. So there was literally no impact on that. But Izzy being Izzy, pardon me, she just sort of, it takes that to heart. But that's what makes her, you know, one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, because of that mindset that she has.
Well, thanks for coming in. I think you're sticking around to do the pass
yeah,
off.
apparently so, yeah.
I hope you beat Anthony Albanese. He shot the lights out. I actually saw him at the Origin. He said, thanks very much. We got him elected. Yeah, we got him elected. So well done, Albo. You owe me about 10 beers. So it was after break, more of the Sunday Footy Show.
Very good.